Hey guys, so I wanted to make this video and I hope it's going to be kind of useful or interesting tips and tricks that I've learned through my modeling kind of stuff, but that you can use just to take a really cool picture, like whether it's for like Instagram or like, selfie for like your friends or whatever, like grandma, I don't know, whoever you send pictures to. But anyways, I hope this helps and yeah. So the very first thing I would say is that your mirror should be your best friend. And I know that sounds like completely kind of full of yourself or whatever, but it's true. Like a lot of the times models and just anyone who's really just wanting to take a good picture will just stand in front of the mirror and just practice. Like take a look at your face, throw your hair up in a bun, and take a look at like the angles of your face, what side works best for you. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I have a good side, but it's true. And it's not so much true that like one side of your face is like gorgeous and the other side of your face is like, like hideous. But it is true that you feel more confident with one side of your face often, and that just kind of translates on pictures, whether you feel kind of like good and comfortable, and that comes off as, obviously really pretty versus being vulnerable or feeling really awkward. Another tip I would say is look at different angles, and this is kind of goes along with practicing in the mirror, but think about angles not just of your face but in the way you pose. So for example, putting your hand here is different than putting your hand here, or standing with a hand on your hip, or twisting your body. It's all kind of different, and it's fun to play around with these just because sometimes you realize that your body looks really good in one angle, or it hides like an imperfection that you're insecure about, or something like that. Going along with insecurities, the really fun way of playing around with things that you feel confident about or downplaying things that you don't like is learning how to use the light to your advantage. So of course, spotlights, you've heard of oh, you're in the spotlight, which means basically you're in the center of whatever's going on, like the focus is on you. And the same thing goes with cameras. So if the light is shining directly on you, if you turn your body to look at it, then certain parts of your body are going to be highlighted versus others, which are going to be in the shadows. So the only way of really learning how to use the light is again to practice. I would say just practice outside, practice with natural light, practice with what they called hard light, which is just you can even just turn on a lamp and practice with that, which just means that it's more intense. And again, if you want to hide an imperfection, you can turn that imperfection away from the light, versus if you tilt it towards the light, that's going to put obviously the focus on that specific area. Now, that being said, another really good way to downplay an imperfection is to keep it further away from the lens and bring things you like closer to the camera. So for example, if I'm really insecure about my tummy, you can always grab a pillow and hide it under the pillow, or the typical thing that girls do, which is hide behind someone else, which I've totally done. But another way you can do it is just bringing something you like. For example, if it's your face, closer to the camera, or if it's your arm, you can bring it closer to the camera, and that will automatically shift the focus somewhere else. Something else I would say is practice taking pictures with other people. And I know this is going to be okay, what if I just want a profile picture for myself? Actually, it will help you, because you can take some with your friends and you realize that you can play off of their energy, and maybe you like, having pictures in groups, or you can learn from them just by watching how they pose and then try and recreate the pose yourself. A lot of the times models tend to do this just sitting in on other shoots or flipping through magazines. You can just see what other people are doing and, practice and see if that works well for you. Another tip is to really be creative. A lot of the times what we tend to go to is the duck face, or the typical peace sign or something like that. And that's kind of fun if you're hanging out with your friends or something like that. But if you're just taking pictures for senior pictures, or pictures, for grandma, or pictures for Instagram, sometimes it's fun to just really think about each click of the camera, and this is something that a lot of models do, is each click of the camera being a different picture altogether. So pose differently each time. That will guarantee you at least one good shot, because if you're taking the same picture the same way every single time, and then after 300 pictures you realize that this isn't working for you, then you're totally screwed, because you just wasted an hour taking the same picture and you don't like how it looks. And then another tip, and I know I'm going really quickly, but it's because my camera is about to turn off, But my very last tip that I would say is learn to kind of play with your emotions and be comfortable using different emotions. So a lot of the times people are kind of like insecure about their teeth, me, and you tend to like hide your smile, or you're the other way around. You feel really confident that way, like smiling really big, but you feel really awkward if you don't smile or if you look a bit more serious. And if you're just standing in front of the mirror, you can practice like being serious, looking lost. I know that sounds really funny, but I tend to do that. I just leave my mouth a little bit open and I look into the distance and it looks like I'm lost, but for some reason it just works on me, so I tend to go to that as like my safety photo. But really just practice, look serious, look mad. Sometimes that reads really well on camera. Sometimes if you're just candid and you're laughing, that looks really cool. So again, just play around, and even if you feel really awkward or weird at first, I guarantee you that something that might look really exaggerated off camera might actually look kind of cool in the end. So those are my tips and tricks from modeling that you can just use in your average day pictures. Let me know how it goes. Post some pictures or some videos of things that you've done if you want me to see them. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what other kind of videos you guys want to see. Bye guys. Thanks.